Let us learn the chapter Agriculture. When it comes to agriculture, in India we practice different types of agriculture. Mainly, the agriculture in India can be classified as one is primitive subsistence farming, then it is intensive subsistence farming, and the third one is commercial farming. Let us learn them one by one. Talking about the first one, primitive subsistence farming. Now, major part of India practices primitive subsistence farming because most of the farmers are poor and they have small land holdings. So, they mainly cultivate crops for their own family. If there is anything in excess, they will go and sell it in the nearby market. Such a farming, which is done mainly for their family, is known as subsistence farming. Now, this type of farming is practiced on small patches of land because the farmers are poor. It is done with the help of primitive tools like hoe, dhow, and digging sticks. This type of farming depends upon one is monsoon, then natural fertility of the soil because the farmer is not rich enough to buy chemical fertilizers or arrange for organic manure. Third, the suitability of other environmental conditions. That is only in the rainy season. And if it rains properly, he will cultivate, or else the land will lie in waste. The members who are involved in farming activity is family members. So, family or community labor is involved. Now, within subsistence farming, we also have something called shifting cultivation. This is practiced by tribal people living in remote and faraway areas. Now, they burn and clear a patch of land in the mountainous forest areas. Then they produce cereal and other food crops mainly to sustain their family. They will cultivate crops which they can easily cook and eat in the daily meals. They will not grow commercial crops like cotton or sugarcane because they all require to be processed in the industries. Now, they are practicing agriculture on mountain slopes. So, within few years, fertility of the land is lost. The reason is the soil will easily drain up along with the water. When the soil fertility decreases, the farmers clear a fresh patch of land. They will abandon the earlier land. Now, what will happen to the abandoned land? In due course, the soil may regain its fertility or it will lead a barren patch of land. So we can say this type of shifting allows nature to replenish the fertility. In this type of farming, land productivity is low because the farmer has not used fertilizers or other modern inputs. And in different parts of the country, it is known by different names. Like, for example, when it comes to northeastern part of India, it is known as Jhuming cultivation. So Jhuming is well known name in Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, and Mizoram. Then in Nagaland, it is known as Pamlau. In Chhattisgarh, it is known as Deepa in Bastar district. Now, we shall learn about intensive subsistence farming. Intensive subsistence farming is practiced in those areas where the density of population is high and the land holdings are small. That is, the land available with a family is small land. So, there is high population pressure on the land. So, we can conclude that the land holdings are small. This is due to right of inheritance. That is, say, a farmer has a big piece of land, say entire village, but he has 4 children. So the farmer was, the land was divided among 4 children, where these 4 children grew up. They also had 4 children each. So the same piece of land got divided into 16 parts. In this way, the land continuously got divided, and today the farmers have small patch of land. Now, in order to get maximum output from the limited land, the farmer uses one is irrigation facility, because with irrigation they can utilize a land throughout the year. Irrigation means cultivation of crops with the help of supplied water. Then it is use of HYV seeds, high yielding variety seeds. These seeds are developed with biotechnology and they are utilized only in those areas which have irrigation facilities, that is, assured supply of water. These seeds will take less time to grow and will give more amount of grains. Many a times they are also developed in such a way that they are best resistant. That is, they will not be attacked by pest. Then it is use of biochemical fertilizers and pesticides. Now, you may say we have to add machine also. But here machines are not used because the land holdings are small and the population pressure is high. So it is labor intensive farming. So there are the features of intensive subsistence farming. It is practiced in areas where the density of population is high and the land available per family is small. Then comes commercial farming. Now the name itself tells that farming done in order to sell the products in the market will be called as commercial farming. In subsistence farming, the farmer was cultivating crops for his own family, but here the farmer is cultivating crops to sell it in the market. Now, the main characteristics of this type of farming is using high doses of modern inputs used in order to obtain higher productivity. Now again, the higher doses of modern inputs will be almost same as we have learnt in intensive farming, and that is first one, irrigation facilities, but this will be with the help of modern machine on a bigger piece of land. Next is use of high yielding variety seeds, which I told you takes less time to grow and gives more grains. Supposing I take rice, generally The traditional rice would take 6 months to grow, but HYV seeds would grow within 3 months, so the farmer can harvest the crops just after 3 months instead of 6 months. Next is chemical fertilizers. Then it is use of insecticides and pesticides. The degree of commercialization of agriculture varies in India from one region to another. Supposing I take Punjab and Haryana, we all know they are agriculturally rich states. So here, most of the farmers will be cultivating crops in order to sell in the market. But if I take Orissa, here majority of the farmers are poor. The land holdings is small and they will be growing maybe the same crop, say rice, and they are cultivating it for their own family. Next comes plantation farming. Now, when it comes to plantation farming is cultivation of, say, tea, coffee, spices, rubber, even coconuts. They will come in the category of plantation farming. Now, why are they called plantation farming? Because they are permanently planted, and unlike rice or wheat, they are not harvested after 3 4 months or after 6 months. So say once a tea crop is planted, it will give tea leaves for at least 50 years. If rubber tree are planted, the rubber tree will give income to the farmer for at least 20 years. So they are called plantation farming. Now, what are the features? Plantation farming is a type of commercial farming. In this type of farming, only a single crop is grown on a large area. Then, the plantation has an interface of agriculture and industry. Supposing I'm growing coffee plantation, along with that, I would require an industry. The reason is coffee berries need to be processed. Same is it with tea. Same is with coconuts. The plantation covers large tracts of land and they use heavy capital intensive inputs. So, a lot of money is poured into it. It requires high investment. Only then it can be done. It cannot be done by small farmers. This kind of work also requires large number of laborers, and these laborers are mostly migrant laborers. Supposing in Assam there are people required for plucking the tea leaves, the laborers would be coming from Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and places like this. Then it is used as raw material in respective industries. Because we have seen that it cannot run without an industry, and most of the products are exported on a large scale. Supposing tea from India or coffee from India is exported to other countries on a very large scale. Then we talk about different cropping seasons. The first one is the Kharif cropping. Now, when I say Kharif crops are also called as monsoon crops. The reason is the seeds are sown at the beginning of the monsoon. They are cultivated mainly between June and October. The example of crops that are cultivated are, one is rice, which is widely cultivated in India, and that too at the beginning of the rainy season. The second important crop is jawar. These two are classic examples of Kharif crop. Apart from that, in our country we cultivate variety of crops such as maize, bajra, tur, moong, urad, cotton, jute, groundnut, and soybean. So, these are few examples of Kharif crop. Now in India, when I say Kharif crop can also be called as summer crops. When it comes to South India cultivates crops like rice and even jowar throughout the year. The reason is that they don't have anything called winter season. Winter season means it is a pleasant time, that's all. They really don't feel the winter. Winter is nicely experienced only in the northern part of India. That's why in the northern part of India, they cannot grow these crops in the winter season. Now, talk about Rabi crops. Rabi crops are winter crops. Rabi crops are sown in winter from October to December and harvested in summer from April to June. Classic example of Rabi crop is winter crop and mustard. These are widely cultivated in northern part of India during winters. The other crops are barley, peas, and gram. Then we have zaid crops. Now, what is a zaid crop? In between the Rabi and Kharif crops, there are a few breaks. In this short duration, we can cultivate many other crops like we have watermelon, muskmelon. So, they will be put in the category of zaid crops. The other examples are cucumber, vegetables, fodder crops. Okay? All these are cultivated when we are not cultivating Rabi or Kharif crops. Next part, let's see the growth of all the major crops in India. Well, the major crops that are cultivated in India are rice, wheat, millets like jowar, bajra, ragi. Then it is different types of pulses, tea, coffee, sugarcane, oil seeds, cotton, jute, etc. Talking about the first crop, and that is rice. It is the major crop of India, and maximum area in India is under the cultivation of rice. Actually, rice is the major crop of the world. So, even in the world, if we take up, this is the first crop. Now in India, it is the staple food crop of majority of the people in India. Then it is the second largest producer of rice because China is first. It is cultivated as a kharif crop. We know kharif crop means it is the seeds that are sown in the beginning of the rainy season. And the requirement of the temperature is that it must be above 25 degree Celsius. Generally, most of the crops, if we see, are cultivated between 21 to 27 degrees Celsius. That is the ideal temperature conditions required. In case of rice, the temperature is slightly more. It is given above 25 degrees Celsius and high humidity. Why humidity? Generally, it is grown in heavy rainfall areas and rainfall must be more than 100 centimeter. In areas of less rainfall, it can be cultivated like states of Punjab, Haryana. they cultivate with the help of irrigation. Now, rice is grown in India in the states which rank first in India in cultivation of rice is West Bengal. Then it is Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Punjab. So, these are some of the important states that cultivate rice. It does not mean that other states don't. Almost, I'll say, all the states in India produce rice. Our next crop is wheat. When it comes to wheat, this is the second most important cereal crop after rice in India. And in the world also we rank second after US. It is the main food crop in north as well as northwestern part of the country because it is cultivated as a rabi crop. It is a crop that requires cool climate, and in India winter is nicely experienced only in northern part of India. Southern part of India, throughout the year, the season is Kharif because winter is very mild in the southern part, that is, say, below Maharashtra. So, wheat is the main food crop in north and northwestern part of the country. Now, this is cultivated as Rabi crop. Rainfall is, that is, it can be cultivated within 50 to 70 centimeter. And since this is cultivated in the winter season, Punjab, Haryana, these are all states that are lucky to receive light showers in winter season. In a year, they get 5 to 6 decent showers of rain because of temperate cyclones and originate in the Mediterranean Sea, and they bring rainfall here, and that much water is enough for the cultivation of wheat. The major wheat producing states are Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, even MP and Rajasthan. Then you will also see small patches in Gujarat and Maharashtra. The state that is leading in the production is Uttar Pradesh. And when it comes to per hectare production, it is Punjab that is leading. Then we learn about millet crops. Now, what are millet crops? Jowar, Bajra, Ragi. These are counted as millets because these are coarse grain. They can be cultivated even in the areas where fertility of the soil is low and the amount of rainfall is less. So, even with low rainfall like 50 to 60 centimeter of rainfall, when it is properly distributed, these grains have high nutritional value. So, that is a good thing about it. When we eat rice, when we eat wheat, they have only carbohydrates. We eat them and that gets converted into sugar. But it is different when it comes to ragi, bajra, and jowar. Talking about jowar, jowar is the third most important food crop with respect to area and production. In the world, we rank first. It is cultivated as kharif crop. Actually, when it comes to southern part, even Maharashtra, it is cultivated throughout the year because I said in the southern part, nothing called Rabi. Winter is mild. It is a rain-fed crop and mostly grown in the moist area which hardly needs irrigation. And we know that when it comes to the major part of Maharashtra, they receive low rainfall and that is enough for the cultivation of jowar. Probably that is the reason Maharashtra produces jowar on a large scale. Major jowar producing states are Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh. Then it is bajra. When it comes to bajra, bajra grows well in sandy soil. Means it is Rajasthan, Gujarat, this kind of areas, and even in the areas with shallow black soil. Major bajra producing states are one is Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Haryana, Gujarat. These are the leading states. Next to bajra is ragi. Ragi is a crop of dry regions and grows well on red, black, sandy, loamy, and even shallow black soils. And this is what is found when it comes to southern part of India. Ragi again is very rich in iron, calcium, nutrients, and roughage. Major ragi producing states are one is Karnataka, then Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and Jharkhand. Talking about next crop, and that is maize. Now, first one, it is a crop which is used both as food crop as well as fodder crop. It is a kharif crop. It requires temperature between 21 degree to 27 degrees Celsius and grows well in old alluvial soil. Where do we find old alluvial soil? Mostly in the northern Indian plains. So, North Indian plains is one of the best ground for growing maize, and it is cultivated actually all over India. Major maize producing states are Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. Next to that is pulses. When it comes to pulses, they are different type of dal. Pulses again are very rich in protein. So, who is the largest producer of pulses in the world? And of course, it is India. So, India is the largest producer and consumer of pulses in the world. It is the major source of protein in the vegetarian diet. Because I said here, if you are eating rice or wheat, they only have carbohydrates. For protein, we require pulses, and that is why it is said that it is a main source of protein in a vegetarian diet. Now, the major pulses that are cultivated in India are tur dal. So tur, it is also called arhar. When it is urad, then it is urad, moong, masoor, peas, and gram. They require less moisture, means they can be grown even with low rainfall, that is between 50 to 70 centimeter of rainfall, and can survive even in dry conditions. It is cultivated as leguminous crop. That means they can fix nitrogen from the air except arhar dal. Therefore, these are mostly grown in rotation with other crops. Say, if we cultivate cotton, cotton takes away nitrogen from the soil. So next time we must cultivate pulses. The reason is they add nitrogen to the soil. In this way, the soil fertility is maintained. Now the states. The major states producing pulses are, first one is Madhya Pradesh. So, Madhya Pradesh is leading. Then Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and Uttar Pradesh. So if we take pulses, we grow soybean, black gram, arhar dal as kharif crops. Then it is green gram as rabi and kharif crop. When it comes to masoor dal, it is Bengal gram, and it is also called chana dal, which is cultivated as rabi crop. Our next crop is sugar cane. Now, what's the lifespan of sugar cane? For a sugarcane crop to completely grow, it takes one whole year. Generally, sometimes it is harvested within 10 to 11 months, but we can say nearly 1 year. And from sugarcane, India mainly utilizes it for making jaggery, or it is khansari, and then it is sugar. These are produced on a very large scale in our country. Now, which country ranks first in the world in sugarcane production? The country is Brazil. Nearly half of the sugarcane that is produced in the world and that comes from Brazil, and nearly 22% to 25% production is from India. So, India and Brazil the first. But there is big difference. For sugar, India uses sugar cane, but it is not necessary that all the countries use sugar cane. China makes sugar from sugar beet. It is a plant whose root contains the sugar beet root contains here sucrose. It has a high concentration of sucrose. It is sweetness. It is used for the sugar production by China. If I take Arab countries, there they grow dates in plenty. Even dates have the sweetness, that sucrose that can be utilized for making sugar. So, sugar can be made out of anything that has sucrose in it, sweetness in it. Now, talking about India, in India, sugarcane is grown as a tropical as well as subtropical crop. That means we know that the southern part of India is tropical and northern part is subtropical. So, most of the states in India we can cultivate sugarcane. It grows well in hot and humid climate. The temperature requirement is 21 degree to 27 degrees Celsius. And we have seen most of the crops, that is kharif crops, they grow in this range. The rainfall must be more than 100 centimeter. Actually, it requires good amount of water, and if water is not there, even with the help of irrigation facility, we can cultivate this crop. That is why it is cultivated in Maharashtra. If we take Deccan Plateau region of Maharashtra, it is not a heavy rainfall areas, but again, Maharashtra grows sugarcane on a large scale. Reason is the soil, climate, irrigation facilities. Now, this crop requires a lot of manual laborers. Everything is manually done. That's right from sowing to harvesting. India is the second largest producer of sugarcane after Brazil. But when it comes to sugar, India is first because Brazil utilizes sugarcane juice for making fuel out of it. Sugarcane is the main source for sugar. Then it is jaggery, khansari, and even molasses. Now, molasses is a viscous liquid which are brown in color, and again that can be put into variety of uses, like it is used in bakery, it is a sweetener, It is also used for making rum. The major sugarcane producing states are first one, and the leading state is Uttar Pradesh. Then comes Maharashtra, then Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. And even if you go to north, all the northern states, say Punjab, Haryana, Bihar, West Bengal, then all the states cultivate sugarcane. Even Kerala is a good place for growing sugarcane. The next important crop is oil seeds. India actually started yellow revolution to increase edible oil production in our country. The main oil seeds that are produced in India are one is groundnut, then it is mustard, coconut, sesame, that is teal, soybean, castor seeds. From castor seeds, we get castor oil, which is a lubricant, cotton seeds, linseed, and sunflower. Most of these are edible and used as cooking mediums. But some are also used as raw material in the production of soap, cosmetics, and ointments, and even lubricant. Oilseeds in India cover approximately 12% of the total cropped area area of the country. Now, among the oilseeds, the number one crop of India is groundnuts. Out of all the oilseed, 50% is groundnut that is produced in India. So, where is India lie when it comes to the production of groundnut? Again, we rank second next to China. Groundnut is kharif crop and accounts for about half of the major oilseeds in the country. Gujarat is the largest producer of groundnut, which is followed by Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh. The next crop I'll say is rapeseed. In rapeseed production, India is the third largest producer after Canada and China. Linseed and mustard are rabi crops. Then it is sesame. It is a kharif crop in the north, the rabi crop in the south. Because in south there is nothing called rabi season. Rabi season means it is a pleasant climate. It is a kind of mild summer. Then we have castor seeds. They are again grown in both rabi as well as kharif crops. When I'm saying they are cultivated rabi and kharif crop, I'm talking about South India. The next crop is tea. Now, if I take the tea plant, what is the life of the tea plant? Once it is planted, it will give leaves for 50 years, and every year 15 to 20 times can pluck the leaves out of it. So it is a very lucrative business. It requires deep and fertile, well drained soil, rich in humus and organic matter. And that is why they are grown on mountain slopes. These mountain slopes have red soil or laterite soil. This crop's requirement is good amount of rainfall and the well-drained soil, which is rich in humus and organic matter. And these conditions are available in the mountainous areas of Assam and nearby states. The tea bushes require warm and moist, frost-free climate all through the year. Frequent showers that is evenly distributed over a year ensure continuous growth of tender leaves. Now, this industry is labor intensive industry, because for plucking the leaves is only done manually, because they can't pluck all the leaves. Tender selected leaves only, which is the laborers are good at doing. Then it is processed in industry. For all these activities, laborers is greatly required, and these laborers are migrant laborers. Supposing Assam, which is rich in tea, so for all work laborers come from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, or Jharkhand, but other states migrant laborers are uh, coming there and working in particular season. The major tea producing states in India are: first one, of course, it is Assam. The second state in India is West Bengal. And in West Bengal, in Darjeeling, we get the best tea of India. From South India, it is Tamil Nadu and Kerala. But the taste of tea of South India is different from that is in North India. It is not that tea is just produced in these four states. It is actually Assam and all the neighboring states, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Meghalaya. In all these states, tea is produced, and it is being done after deforestation. Even in the northern part of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, it is being dried out. That is why producing it on a large scale. And India is the second largest producer of tea in the world. First, of course, it is China, but China produces green tea, and the processing of green tea is different from that of the black tea that India produces. And again, Sri Lanka, the tea is different. It is brown tea. So, again, processing is different. That's all. So, there is difference in the taste. The next crop is coffee. Again, Indian coffee is known in the world for its good quality, that is coffee Arabica. The Arabica variety initially was brought from Yemen, and it was produced in our country, especially Baba Budan Hills. And this variety is in great demand all over the world. Initially, its cultivation was introduced on Baba Budan Hills, and today its cultivation is confined to the Nilgiri in Karnataka, then Kerala and Tamil Nadu. But of course, Karnataka is the leader. So, first they will pluck this after ripening. They will remove all the pulp. Seeds are left out. The seeds they will dry, and then it is processed. Finally, what we get is coffee. Next is horticulture. When I say horticulture, it is growing fruits and vegetables. In India, uh, India is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world after China. India is the producer of tropical as well as temperate fruits, because the southern half is tropical and northern part is temperate. If I say fruits in India, we have mangoes of Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh, and West Bengal, oranges of Nagpur or Cherrapunji, bananas of Kerala, Mizoram, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu, lychee and guava of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, pineapples of Meghalaya, grapes of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and even Maharashtra. When I talk about north, we have apples, pears, apricots, and walnuts of Jammu and Kashmir, and Himachal Pradesh are in great demand in the world. Talking about non-food crops, first one, rubber. If I take a rubber tree, once it is planted, say initially after 3-4 years, it starts giving latex, which is in South Indian called milk. So once this tree is planted, it gives income to the farmer for 20 years. Every day in the morning, they will put, that is early in the morning, 6 o'clock, they will put a small cut on the tree and will start giving latex drop by drop, which gets collected in the ball. Generally, it is a coconut ball, and by 10 o'clock, it will stop. Then, from all the trees, it is collected in buckets. They put it in a tray and add some chemicals whereby it would become thin sheet. They will dry it and they will give it to the industry where it is further processed into, say, a tire, tube, etc. So, first one, it is an equatorial crop, and Kerala is close to equator. Southern part of India is equator. Under special conditions, it is also grown in tropical and subtropical areas. It is being tried out in those areas but not produced on large scale. It requires mostly moist and humid climate. Again, Kerala is close to the coast, so it fulfills that requirement. Rainfall is more than 200 centimeter and temperature is above 25 degrees Celsius. So, rubber is an important industrial raw material. It is mainly grown in the states of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and Garo Hills of Meghalaya. Then comes the fiber crops. Among the fiber crops, we have cotton, jute, hemp, and natural silk. Now, these are the four major fiber crops grown in India. The first three are actually derived from the crops that are grown in the soil, and the later, that is silk, is obtained from cocoons of the silkworms fed on green leaves, especially mulberry leaves. Rearing of silkworms for production of silk fiber is known as sericulture. Now, generally the farmers buy the eggs which is kept in the refrigerator by the sellers. They bring it home, they will put it on a tray and they will put mulberry leaves in the tray. And in the room temperature, these eggs hatch out. The silkworms come out. They start eating the leaves. They grow up and they give out their saliva. As the saliva is coming out, it becomes yarn, and from this yarn, they make this cocoon. Once this cocoon is done, the silkworm gets trapped inside the cocoon. So, all these cocoons are collected and put in hot water. So, naturally, the silkworm die. Because if that is not done, they will start once again eating it back and they will spoil the threads. So once it is put in hot water, they are able to draw the thread out of it. So they are able to make silk fiber out of it. And from the silk fiber, we make silk cloths. And when it comes to India, silk cloths, Karnataka ranks first. Then talking about cotton. India is believed to be the original home of cotton plant. It is cultivated as kharif crop and it requires 6 to 8 months to mature. It requires high temperature, light rainfall or irrigation, 210 frost-free days and bright sunshine for its growth. In the textbook, the data is given for 2016. India was the second largest producer of cotton after China. But right now, the country that ranks first in the production of cotton in the world is India. India is first, China second, USA third, Pakistan fourth, and Brazil fifth. Cotton grows well in drier parts of black soil of the Deccan Plateau region. And that's why we have Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, and even Andhra Pradesh. Major cotton producing states in India are: one is Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. Talking about jute, jute is called as the golden fiber. It grows well on well drained fertile soil in the floodplains where soils are renewed every year. And that is why the delta region of the West Bengal is the best place in India. It requires high temperature during the time of its growth. The major jute producing states are West Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, Assam, and Meghalaya. It is used in making gunny bags, mats, ropes, yarn, carpets, and other artifacts. And when it comes to jute production, India ranks first in the world. The country that is second is Bangladesh, then China. Now, due to its high cost, it is losing market to synthetic fibers and packing materials, particularly the nylon. So, that was all about crops in our country. Now we shall understand why are the technological and institutional reforms required in our country. Well, the reason behind that are: agriculture has been practiced in India for thousands of years. Sustained use of land without compatible techno-institutional changes have hindered the pace, that is speed, of agricultural development. In spite of development of sources of irrigation, most of the farmers in large parts of the country still depend upon monsoon and natural fertility in order to carry on their agriculture. For a growing population, this poses a serious challenge, and agriculture, which provides livelihood for a more than 60% of its population, that needs some serious technical and institutional reforms. And that is why we can say this is what we require right now. Now, let us see the list of institutions set up by the government to modernize and improve the Indian agriculture. First one is ICAR, that is Indian Council of Agricultural Research. Then it is agricultural universities, veterinary services where animals are treated, animal breeding centers, horticulture development, that is meant for growth of fruits and vegetables in the country, research and development in the field of meteorology and weather forecast that would help the farmers in agricultural activities. Improve rural infrastructure. When I say infrastructure, it refers to the support system. Villages require electricity, they require cheap loans, so banking facilities, transport. So these are all a part of infrastructure. What initiatives are taken by the government to ensure the increase in agricultural production? Well, a number of measures have been taken by the government. First one is technological reforms and institutional reforms. Talking about technological reforms, it is introduction of modern inputs. And there are five modern inputs. They are providing irrigation facilities, use of HYB seeds, that is high yielding variety seeds. High yielding variety seeds take less time to grow and obtain more amount of grains, and they can be pest resistance. So what is good thing? All this we can find here is, I mean, uh, that has more benefiting. Then the next is use of fertilizers, pesticides, and even machines, that is tractors, tillers, harvesters, threshers, etc. Tiller is used for making the soil loose. Harvesters will cut the crops, that is, they are helpful in cutting the crops. Threshers will do the work of threshing, separating the grain from the main crop. Then institutional reforms. Well, institutional reforms are consolidation of land holdings. Supposing for a farmer he has small pieces of land and it is scattered in different places. Bring it together in one place by counseling the villagers. Then abolition of jamindari systems. When I say Jamindari system was introduced by Lord Cornwallis in 1793 through Permanent Settlement Act. It was introduced in the provinces of Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, and Varanasi. It is also known as Permanent Settlement System. Now, Jamindars were recognized as owners of the lands. They were given the right to collect the rent from the peasants. This was huge money. The realized amount, that is the money that is collected, was divided into 11 parts. 1 out of 11 was share that belongs to Jamindar, and still they were very rich. And 10 parts out of 11 was the share that belonged to the East India Company. So this was Jamindari system. So this was abolished. Widespread about radio and television. This will be helpful, like we get customer care service. Whenever we want something, we make a call. So here radio and television services will guide the farmers in agricultural activities. Crop insurance, rural banking and cooperative societies, and minimum support price. Now, what is minimum support price? It is the minimum price that is given to the farmer for the crop that is cultivated. Suppose if a farmer is growing rice and rice has market price, and suddenly at the time of harvesting the crop, the distributors or wholesalers have dropped the price down, so it will be a big loss for the farmers. So government has kept a minimum support price, that is, this is the minimum price. Right in the beginning, before sowing the seeds, he is told that he would be getting. So that is a way, that's a kind of insurance, that's a kind of support system the government gives to the farmer, which is referred to as minimum support price. This is for most of the essential food grains. It is there. Then finally, we understand what is sustainable agriculture. Well, we can practice sustainable agriculture by decreasing the use of inorganic fertilizers and increase the use of organic manures. Use of drip and sprinkle irrigation and avoid excessive irrigation. You can see in this picture the black line pipe going wherever there are, say, mango trees or coconut trees. there will be small holes in the pipes. So, drop by drop, it will be giving water to the crop or to a particular plant. So, there is no excess water given. There is no wastage of water, and water is wisely used. Make use of traditional seeds instead of hybrid seeds because they are useful in particular climatic and soil condition. Use crop rotation and diversify the cropping patterns. We have seen earlier that if you grow cotton, cotton takes away nitrogen of the soil. But if you grow pulses, they add nitrogen. So one depletes the nitrogen content, the other one adds. So we can practice crop rotation. This will increase incomes and reduce environmental degradation simultaneously. So, dear friends, with this, I conclude the chapter. Thank you so much.